Breast cancer, a personal journey. Did you know that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime? That's almost 13% of the world's population of women. This is my mother, Patty, in the fall of 2016, just a few weeks before she was diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic breast cancer. She was a healthy, early 50s woman with 2 beautiful daughters and a husband and a grandchild. And this diagnosis completely turned our world upside down. My mother had gotten a mammogram just 1 year prior to this diagnosis that showed no signs of breast cancer. This was something she did every year, her yearly mammogram as recommended by her doctor. Once we figured out that she had breast cancer, we realized her breasts were dense, as the doctor said, and sometimes it doesn't pick up on the cancer because it can't see through all the tissue. So that further made us believe that really this could have been prevented earlier. But the doctors assured us that they had a great medical team and a great medical plan that they would come up with that would give my mother the highest chance of survival. After talking to doctors, we realized that my mother had about a 32% survival rate. The first step was a double mastectomy. This is something that my mother did not let me document for personal reasons. She felt like she was being defeminized, and the whole entire process was very hard for her. After that recovery process, she started chemo. She was in much better spirits. This is her with my sister at one of her many chemo sessions. Chemo didn't give her very many terrible side effects like the doctors warned her that they might. So we were thankful for that and thought that we were maybe on the up and up. The final step was radiation. And to this point, surgery was rough, but chemo was not as bad as we thought it was going to be. Radiation was a whole different animal. She was very sick. She couldn't remember things. She didn't really want to be around anybody. She had no energy. She couldn't even play with her granddaughter that she loves very much, which was really hard for everyone. Thankfully, when she was done with all of her treatment, she started to feel much better. As you can see in this picture with my daughter, Hadley, her granddaughter, she's wearing a scarf. She had no hair, which was a weird thing for my daughter to understand. She didn't really quite understand why all of Nina's hair was falling out. But kids are very curious, and it was a learning curve for all of us. She started to gain her energy back and was able to take Hadley to the park and spend time with her, and things were finally getting back to normal. She even went on a hiking trip with some of her friends and my stepdad, and they went to a Texas barbecue challenge where they went to the 50 top barbecue places in Texas, sponsored by Yeti, and it gave them different prizes that they could pick up along the way. So here is a picture of their haul. I think that they probably have every single Yeti product known to man after this. But this was a distraction that my stepdad came up with to kind of pull my mom away from the reality of her breast cancer. He wanted them to do something fun together, realizing that time is precious and we almost lost her and we still weren't in the clear at this point. So they did something fun with each other, and did they have a blast. So what's the point of this sad story about how my mom went through all these terrible things and now she's a survivor? Which, by the way, she is a survivor. We had a scare a few months back when her blood tests did not come back as we thought they would. We went to a PET scan. It showed a tumor. We did a biopsy. The tumor was non-cancerous. Thank goodness. But she'll never fully be in the clear, right? But she is a survivor. The point is, early detection saves lives. If my mother wouldn't be getting her yearly mammograms, her cancer could have progressed and gotten much worse, and she could have died. My mother is a success story. but not all are. Some women can't afford the health care, or simply don't go because they fear doctors, or fear, think this could never happen to me. This happens to other people. It's not true. It can happen to you. I was one of those people that thought this will never happen to me or my family, and then it did. If it wasn't for early detection and healthcare and doctors, my mother wouldn't be here with me today. So I am very thankful for everything that they have allowed us to do and allowed us to have, and to have her. Life is precious, and I'm beyond thankful that I still have my mother. My family has always been big proponents of Susan G. Komen, but that only grew as my mom got diagnosed. The things that this company does to help raise awareness and funding for research for breast cancer to find a cure is amazing. And they help so many women worldwide who can't afford the healthcare that they need to make sure that they're healthy. We do the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure every year. We get a big old group together and we raise money. I raised the most amount of money out of our group this past year, a little over $500, and that's just for one event. Continue to raise funds for Susan G. Komen throughout the year because I truly believe in the cause that they're trying to spread. They are someone who, personally helped my mother and helped so many other women. And we've had the chance to meet so many other survivors and so many other women whose families have lost their battle to breast cancer through this whole process. And it's very humbling. So here's my mother at this year's past Susan G. Komen race. She's still rocking a short pixie cut. After being bald and growing it out shorter, she realized that she liked it that way. So that was a plus, and it looks very cute on her. She gets to wear that pink shirt with that survivor sash every year that we go, and we are so thankful that we get to celebrate this life with her. Awareness, awareness, awareness. I can't say it enough. Breast cancer is the number 2 killer of women every year, second to heart disease. Not only is breast cancer preventable with early detection, but it also increases your risks of survival the earlier that you find out if you have it. I guess you can say that breast cancer has kind of taken over our lives and will probably stay that way. My daughter did an art project for school that was focused around unseen heroes, survivors of breast cancer. So this is her project. She's very proud of it. She won 2nd place in district, and it was displayed in her school. She's very proud that her Nina beat breast cancer. Going back to Susan G. Komen, their goal, number 1 goal, is to reduce the current number of breast cancer deaths by 50% in the U.S. by 2026. They put so much of their fundraised money into research and prevention and finding a cure that they are closer to attaining this goal than ever before. I want to push you to encourage all the women in your life, and even men, to get their mammogram when it's time. Don't ever let what happened to my family, and even worse, some people who lost their mothers, happen to your family.